Hi, Corky from Alabama, minus banjo knee. Uh, Today it's octaves. Two reasons why you need to work octaves into your guitar playing, especially electric lead guitar playing. First reason is for variety. I teach when you're playing lead guitar or second guitar or even rhythm. You'll use them in rhythms too, but they add variety. And you always want to lead the listener when you're playing guitar from their expectations and then give them a surprise. And so these octaves sometimes are a surprise to the listener because it's not, just standard guitar playing, it's something else. These things are used a lot in jazz, like like Al Di Meola, George Benson especially, but originally Wes Montgomery. And Wes Montgomery is the one who popularized the octaves, and he played the entire melodies of songs with these octaves. So we'll do it in two keys today, and we'll do it in C. I'm gonna do some octaves in C, and then I'm gonna do some uh, octaves in A. Okay. All right. So the first reason to learn octaves is because it gives variety. Secondly, it teaches you to hold one finger in a position and a second finger uh, in proportion to it or parallel to it, and both of them moving at the same time without a lot of wiggling and stopping and everything. When you first start playing guitar, your fingers are searching for stuff all the time. You don't want to be searching for anything. You want to grab it. All right, so in B, there's your first octave. And what I'm doing is hitting two notes. Here's a B note. Oh, I said I was going to do it in C. Let's do it in C. Okay, here's a C note. And then here's the octave. Okay. Now, the first octaves that I learned were these kind. If we're in C, it would be like this. And what I'm doing there is I'm pressing down my C note on the high E up here in the eighth fret, and then I'm going to the C note on the D string. There's two strings open between them. There's two open on top. But I'm just plucking these two. And that was my first ones I ever learned. And I've seen Dickie Betts use those and other people use those, but that's not what I ended up using all the time. Matter of fact, I rarely ever do octaves like that. You hear that string ringing? You want to keep, if you're playing solo, you especially want to keep those other strings from ringing out if you don't want them to sound. You want to mute them or damp them. And when you're crossing over like this, it's not easy to damp, so you might have some strings get loose on you. Hear that one right there? And I'm sliding those around, you see. That was the first one that I learned. But here's the one, when I heard Hendrix use it, was the one I kept. And we're in C. So here's the C note on the third fret A string. There's your fifth fret G string. And that right there with the long, don't underestimate the string noise because that's part of it. Okay? And you notice that as I'm sliding it around, my little finger and my first finger are staying in relationship to each other. Okay? That's a Wes Montgomery sound. In more contemporary times, Eric Johnson's got a song called East West, where he goes, uh, right? It's called East West. It's a Wes Montgomery tribute song. You listen to that if you're really into the rock shredders and all that. But Wes Montgomery played the jazz and he played those tunes. So if we're in C, here's one I'm going to show you. C on the 3rd fret A, C on the 5th fret G. Okay, I just did the major scale, so that's a good thing to practice. It's like going, and you do up and down strokes, but listen to the dead strings I've got going here. I'm just sounding those two, and I'm able to dampen them by laying my hand here. Now I'm doing it with a flat pick. Wes Montgomery only used his thumb, so major scale. And when you got a band going, you know, the string noise gets lost in the band sounds. So we're doing in the key of C octaves, all right? And you can do a minor scale too. And there's you're on G, because on guitar, an octave is 12 frets. All right, but I like using the pick, and I guess Hendrix was the one that really got me using the pick to go like this, you know. And you'll hear Hendrix do that, and he's got other triads and things that you can learn. But that's the one in the key of C. We go to the key of A. Now we're further up. I mean, we could do this one in A. But I'm hitting that D. I shouldn't be hitting that other string. But let's go up to this and do this one at A. Now my A note is 1st finger, G string, 2nd fret. And here is my pinky is up on the 5th fret E. I'm missing stuff. So if we're in A, C. I usually don't go up that high unless I'm doing like Black Magic Woman, the Santana, and he would go up here. There it is, that A note, and here's the octave, boom, like that. And then he goes down here and goes. Then he goes. He goes. Right? He starts with the A, and he may be picking those. And sometimes he'll do a little. All right, again from A, the major scale down here, and here your 1st finger and your 4th finger got to stay in proportion to each other. And I'm not hitting it every time, but I'm hitting it most of the time. And then sliding those makes for a really great sound, you know. So those are the two forms of octaves that I showed you today. Was this kind. So those of you that listen to Jimi Hendrix or jazz, you're going to recognize those octaves. All right. So that's a thing. I thought I'd share that with you today. Obviously, I don't do them all perfect, and you're not going to hit every lick perfect every time. Uh, but the better you get at it, sometimes you're upstroking, sometimes you're down. I just know that every time I add those, go into those during a guitar solo, everybody's eyes get big because they're like, "What in the world is that sound?" And with distortion on it, if you're doing rock, wow, they really sound great. Now I've got my pickups in the woman tone right now to get a mellow kind of jazz, more of a Wes Montgomery sound. But Hendrix, with a lot of distortion and God knows what all going on, Octavio, he'll go into that treble, and that makes for a different thing. And it's really great. But I just wanted to share the jazz version of it with you. Okay, there it is. Sun shining, a little warmer today. Thank you, Lord.